Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka Cobb Vanth Vanth Refrigeration, and this video we're breaking down everything you need to know about the character. Before he first appeared in The Mandalorian, Cobb had a long and rich history that makes him a big fan favourite in Star Wars expanded lore. Cobb first debuted in Aftermath, which told his origin story and how he rose to become a sheriff known as the Marshal. Now, Cobb's origin story is sort of in line with what we see play out in the show. However, as Mando hadn't been invented at the time of his creation, his arc does differ slightly. Cobb, similar to Anakin, was a slave, and after he was freed from this, he stumbled across the town of Mos Pelgo. Pelgo had been raided by a syndicate known as the Red Key Raiders, and they had pretty much ransacked the area. In the source material, when traversing the location, Vanth came across a Red Key Raider known as Adwin Cheru, who was at a sandcrawler. Vanth agreed to help Cheru scavenge valuable equipment from the vehicle, and this is where the pair found Boba Fett's armour. It turns out that Boba Fett had escaped the Sarlacc, and he was found by Jawas, who then stripped him of the equipment, but that's a topic for another video. If you do want to know the ins and outs of it though, then make sure you check out our video on how Boba Fett survived, which will be linked at the end. Otherwise, I'll bloody fight you. Now, both Cheru and Vanth wanted the armour, and the latter managed to best the former, taking it for himself. Cobb allowed Cheru to live so that he could pass on a warning to his boss, Logan Mervellin, in the hopes that he would leave the town. He didn't, and not long after, Vanth returned to Mos Pelgo and single-handedly drove away the raiders. He became the sheriff of the area, and this is pretty similar to what we see happen in the show. Now, Mos Pelgo was actually renamed to Freetown, and Cobb trained up the residents of the area so that they would be ready to fight off any more raider attacks. These came several times, and the village was raided at multiple points, but the locals managed to fight back. The death of Jabba the Hutt had really caused a power struggle on the planet, and without the Empire there to occupy things either, there were several other factions that rose in the vacuum that was created. Now, the books themselves, namely the Aftermath collection, follows Cobb as he goes through the trials and tribulations of being a sheriff. One centers around Cobb stopping the Red Key Raiders from smuggling out a Huttlet, and he even kills Malakili, who you will know from Return of the Jedi. And I'm sorry, so sad. Now, not long after this, the Raiders launched an attack on Mos Pelgo, which was led by none other than Logan. Turns out that Mervellin wanted to enslave the people of Pelgo, and the villain was actually planning on taking over the entirety of Tatooine in the wake of the power vacuum. However, Cobb was ready for him, and Pelgo had formed a unity with the Tusken Raiders in the area in order to fight off Mervellin's forces. Cobb and co defeated Logan, and Pelgo was safe once more. Now, depending on what stories you read, depends on a lot of things that could happen with the character. In some of the expanded lore, Boba Fett does get his armor back at some point, but how he does this depends purely on what you pick up. There are a lot of avenues in which this could happen, and it is quite interesting that in the show, Fett didn't actually go after Vanth himself. We do know that the armor is pretty much laser-proof, and maybe Fett was biding his time until Cobb dropped his guard or it was removed from him. Fett has Tusken Raider garb on, and it is possible that he was living amongst them in the desert, waiting for the perfect moment to take it back. He and Mando will likely find some common ground, and it is possible that, because he is a clone, that he will help to find the origins of Baby Yoda, who, if the theory turns out to be true, is a clone of Yoda. Now, the expanded universe dealt with a lot of stories in which Boba continued his journey as a bounty hunter, and he even had a family at some point. We're kind of getting a bit sidetracked here, but as for Vanth, I think that this season will likely follow a similar sort of path to the original one, in which Mando slowly started to build up allies. Remember that Moff Gideon is still after him, and Vanth would prove to be a powerful ally, even if he no longer has his Mandalorian armor. I doubt that this is the last that we will see of the character, and I think it would be amazing if we got him back at some point. Now, obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the character, so make sure you comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, then drop a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our breakdown of who the mysterious character at the end of the latest episode of The Mandalorian could be. Don't forget, we're giving away 3 copies of the Marvel Phase 2 box set, and all you have to do to be in the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 30th of November, so make sure you get involved. Our winners of last month's competition are now on our community tab, so definitely check that out after this. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat to us on the Discord server linked in the description, or Heavy Spoilers on Twitter. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. You've been the best, I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.